Hi everyone, I'll take you through a quick tour of the Deep Thought selection process. So Deep Thought is a very different model of an internship. In fact, we don't call it an internship because typically an intern is considered like a trainee or a junior resource who doesn't know anything. So we call the youngsters at Deep Thought as DT contributors. As youngsters who are ambitious, as youngsters who are trying to figure out something new and who would like to contribute to the economy. So we have got a selection process which can help us identify people who are very curious, who would like to reinvent themselves every day, who are very emotionally composed, and who are excited by the work which we do. Because we believe that a young and ambitious youngster cannot work anywhere, right? The chemistry between the organization and the youngster has to match. So how about a selection process where you put the person through different situations and you ask the person to react to certain situations, and in this process, the person discovers whether there's a fitment between the company's vision and the candidate's own vision. So, and again, we'd like to make it very clear. Please take the selection process forward only if you think while getting into the situations, you're actually learning something new, because we believe the best hires are the ones who learn a lot within our ecosystem, because a good internship is as much about learning as it is about work and contribution. So we have a two-step process here. The first step is a very short one, while the second one is a slightly longer one. In the first step, we give you a Google form and we have 10 questions there. So 3 questions are around your learnability. I mean, how actively do you learn and reflect on a daily basis? How actively do you learn and reflect on a daily basis? That's something we get to know through the 3 questions. And the second set of 3 questions would assess your thinking, right? Your logical thinking, your ability to handle abstraction, because Deep Thought being a deep tech company, abstraction is, I think at Deep Thought things get crazy because only after you go 4 levels or 4 levels, 5 levels down, you hit something concrete. It's like the movie Inception every day, dream within a dream within a dream, right? That level of abstraction every day in terms of the product thought process here at Deep Thought. So which is why I think we have one question around abstraction there. And the last 3 questions are around maturity, because I think in Deep Thought, it's a lot of counterintuitive processes at times where your intuition tells you something, but the process tells you the exact opposite of something. So are you able to hold your emotional composure in these situations? I think 3 interesting questions there. And the last question is one where you're asked to summarize what we're able to gather while answering these 9 questions, because the idea is every question stimulates the mind in a certain form. So are you able to put all those jigsaw pieces together and see the big picture? Because again, when you talk of research and innovation environments, the ability to see the big picture becomes extremely important. So we're seeing that. So once you complete this 10 questions, and ideally it should not take more than 15-20 minutes to complete these questions, because we're looking for short answers. Yeah, it's got some thinking to do, but we believe, on the higher side, probably not more than 30 minutes to complete the 10 questions. So once you complete this, you'll be given a WhatsApp group link there. You join the WhatsApp group, and once you join the WhatsApp group, you can actually start the real selection process, where you'll be given 2 technical tasks, and you perform those 2 technical tasks and you'll know what you're signing up for, right? In case you guys are eager to check out the technical task, even that link is given to you in the message. Just click that link, deepthought.education/DT selection. And there you can, click on that Google Sheet link, and in that Google Sheet, you'll see task 1, task 2, whether you've applied for a software role or a research role or an innovator role or a management role, whichever role you've applied to. There is a technical task there. You can just go have a look at it. The whole point of giving the technical task is so you know what you're signing up for. You know what kind of thought process is expected here. Again, one last point before, or rather 2 last points before we sign off from this video. Point 1, growth mindset is very important in Deep Thought. You could be the smartest student in your college, you could be the smartest in your locality, but you'd struggle with these problems because Deep Thought is solving a problem which a lot of people have tried and have struggled with, right? Trying to bring research and education to the school level, bringing, democratizing research and innovation-oriented processes so that even a layperson can learn this and execute it. So it's not an easy problem. So growth mindset becomes very important, because no matter how much you'll know that it's not enough. So that humility and growth mindset, right, where you don't know something, taking a step back, trying to learn, trying to figure it out, and then execute, right? So you see the Google Sheets, step one, they can be very overwhelming, which is why we've put this small Google form so that we can screen out the candidates who are casual. We put this small Google form so we screen out the candidates who are casual and have only the focused candidates in the WhatsApp group, so that a focused candidate who may be stuck, we can just help them a bit. And we feel it's not help, but I think if you're in the WhatsApp group with us, you feel a little more reassured to go complete that task, because it can be quite challenging, right? So the social influence of the group can sort of trigger you to complete that task which is given in Google Sheets. So, which is why we have this process. So point one is growth mindset, extremely important. You're not able to do something, are you able to figure your way out, right? I mean, and more importantly, do you have that emotional composure to hold yourself and say, it's okay, I'll get there, right? So that humility and emotional composure become very important. That's step one. And point two is deep thought would make sense to you only if you enjoy this process of discovering yourself and reinventing yourself every day. In the past, we've had some people who came to deep thought because they like to work, and they're like, okay, let me go do this work and so on. But they've not used the opportunity at deep thought to reflect and reinvent themselves. So if you're not learning at deep thought and you're only wanting to work, you want to write some articles or you want to make a product, and you're not interested in learning, I think deep thought would not make sense to you, because I mean, it's very unfair on our part to expect youngsters, inexperienced youngsters, to execute this level of challenging projects at an early stage if the person is not learning. So you'll be taught a lot of concepts, and some of these concepts will come from domains which you're not even interested in, right? Let's say you're a writer and you're asked to study about technology, you're asked to study about psychology, something which you may not have considered till now, or you're a software developer and you're asked to read about psychology, business, and so on. And all of this is very integral to a product environment like deep thought, right? Where high on research, high on innovation, and building products which can change how people function. So in India, this kind of a culture is typically new. Very few companies, engage in research and innovation of this kind. So we understand this can be a cultural shock for most people, but all I would say is take this process forward only if you enjoy reinventing yourself every day. If that self-exploration, you're a yoga kind of a person, where you're reflecting yourself, trying to know yourself, and you get that kick and enjoyment when you know yourself, I'm sure you would love deep thought. So a simple way, go through the selection process with no expectation, but an expectation of learning. And if you think you're enjoying the selection process, you might enjoy deep thought too. And that's when deep thought also realizes we've got to pick up this person, because this person is enjoying this process of learning. This person will enjoy our work too, because our work involves 80% learning, 20% work, because you're doing something completely new. Nobody has done this anywhere in the world. So a lot of time goes into figuring out how it has to be done. So obviously the amount of learning component is going to be quite high. So to cut the long story short, complete the Google form with 10 questions, join the WhatsApp group, we'll catch up and discuss the further steps. I hope you enjoy the process. All the best.